T-E-A-U. It's called Slave Religion. In this book, this guy talks about how we got to the United States, which was over about 4 or 5 different migrations. First of all, Africans were already here in the United States. We were already here from like 50,000 years ago. We were first called Native Americans. We were called indigo. This is where you get the word Indian from. It's not from the word indigenous. It's from the word indigo. That was the color of the people that they first saw. The original human beings were blue-black. It's preserved in Hindu art. They have like Krishna in blue and all that. But now it's now more glamorized. But back in the days, humans were blue-black. They were called indigo. And when these Western explorers came to some of these islands, what they saw was really dark-skinned people, and they called them indigos. That became Indians, or Indo. You said Indo-European, Indonesian, Indo. That's all dealing with the color indigo, because that's what the original black, so-called black man or woman, I have to say woman, what the original black woman was, because geneticists now have realized that the entire history of humanity is in women, meaning that from the first, what they call African Eve, genetic Eve, the first black woman to leave Africa and venture into Europe and other parts of Asia and other parts of Africa, this one woman, they say we have all of her genes. We have, like most of humanity has all of her genes, and it's women that have passed these genes on through human history. Forget somebody writing history. Your history is already imprinted on your genetic structure, and it's passed in humanity by women. So to disrespect a woman is literally to disrespect the whole history of humanity. Literally. To harm a woman is to actually harm the whole history of humanity, at least genetically. So I bring this little piece up because, come back to the indigo, come back to the Indian, come back to the fact that you were already here. The point I'm bringing up is this. You can escape white racism, white people included. Nobody wants racism, nobody. No rational human being is into that. That's why white folk fought for black independence. That's why there's an abolitionist movement. I talked about that earlier. That's why. If we appeal to the humanity in each other, then all these racial divisions, of course, will disappear. But we also have to become brothers and sisters, which means we need a God. A God. Something that we agree is above us all. Some people make law their God. Some people make love their God. All of these are good, but a godless person is a slave. This is what a slave was. It was first Islam in Africa, Arabs, Arab Moors, they called them. Those tribes, they're the ones that are you today. Because what made you eligible for slavery was that you wasn't Muslim or Christian. First it was Islam that enslaved Africans. Then it was the Christians. Islam sold Africans to the Christians. Then the Christians took over with the Crusades. God wills it, and the Crusades started. And they defeated the Muslims and took the whole slave trade. But the ones they were enslaving was ones that were not Christian. At this point, if you were Muslim, you were getting enslaved now. But in the beginning, if you said Muslim, you said Christian, you were good. Those who were slaves who said, I'm not down with either one. I'm doing nature. I'm doing astronomy. I don't need to read. I don't need to write. I'm reading nature. These are the ones that were enslaved. These are the ones that made it to the United States. They talk all the time about Africans arriving in chains. That's a lie. Well, it's not a lie. Some did. Many did arrive in chains. But the history of Africans in this country is like, the way they tell it is like it's like saying 200 years from now, you're telling the history of African Americans today. And you say, look at Rodney King, take a look at the prison system. Now these people were enslaved, weren't they? Yeah, were. Take a look at the poverty rate, take a look at the health rate, take a look at the lack of education. You would say 200 years from now, them people were enslaved, weren't they? Yeah. This is how slavery was 300 years ago. How can slavery exist for 300 years if you don't believe in it yourself? I don't even believe I'm saying that. How can slavery exist for 300 years if you don't believe in it? I could see it lasting for a week. Okay, a month. A year, then we revolted and got free. Okay, 2 years we were slaves. 300 years. 100 million Africans off the west coast of Africa. We weren't part of that? Nah, you gotta look at it today too. We still slaves today. It's just the slave population got bigger. It's now Asian and Europeans part of it too now. Now it's Latinos as well, and now it's Arabs and Hindus, and yeah. It's just the slave population got bigger. It didn't go nowhere because it was always a mental issue to begin with. Why are you a slave? Because I believe that my father and my mother are my God. I believe in my culture, and I don't need to believe in yours. Okay, put these chains on, let's go. I get here to America. I'm still looking for my ancestors. I'm still praising the ancestors. The white man is calling it voodoo. They call it Yoruba and all kind of other things, but this is just my ancestry. But here in this system, I can't be myself. There goes spirituality. You are a God in your environment. You are the God of your environment. You're not the God of the universe. You're not, no, but you are the God, the creator of your environment. And your environment is as large as your perception is.